Hello everyone, welcome back to my Dentistry Tuesdays, and today's topic is what is the difference between gingivitis and periodontitis. My name is Greg Chong. I've been practicing general dentistry for the last 25 years. I love dentistry, I love helping people, and I'm happy to share. Now let's get into it. Basically, I'm talking about gum disease. Gingivitis is basically, by definition, inflammation of the gum tissue. Periodontitis is, by definition, bone loss, or we can say inflammation of the bone tissue. Basically, anything that we say that's itis means that there's inflammation of that particular body tissue. Here is an example of gingivitis. As you can see the gum tissue looks really red right where the gums meet the tooth. If we were to probe the gums and see how deep they are, they're still going to be 1 to 3 millimeters deep. So what causes gingivitis? Basically, it's poor hygiene. There is plaque that has been left and not brushed or cleaned away wherever the gums meet the tooth. And as a result, the bacteria that's in the plaque has elicited an inflammation response by the gum tissue, and it tends to bleed a little bit easy. So how do we treat the gingivitis? Basically, we professionally clean the area, and then we educate you how to clean those zones where the gums meet the tooth more thoroughly on a daily basis. The good news is gingivitis is completely reversible. So if you keep the area cleaner, the gums won't respond and things will turn back to health. Now on to periodontitis. Basically, periodontitis, again, is bone loss. And depending on how much bone loss there has been, it may not be reversible. And we typically are probing 4+ millimeter deep pockets. The reason why this is of concern with the bone loss is that that's what supports our teeth, and the ultimate outcome of periodontitis is tooth loss. In this example, it may be as simple as gum recession. Typically, the gums have receded, but the bone that was under the gums receded first and the gums followed. Here is an example of what the bone loss looks like on an x-ray. You can see that in between the two central incisors, you can see that the bone is not quite at the same level. And in this picture, you can see that the tissue looks actually pretty healthy, but you can see evidence of bone loss. You can see that the gum tissue no longer is in between the teeth. You can see these gaps. Basically, the bone has receded, just like gum recession, and the gums have followed and no longer as high as it should be. So what causes this? Again, it's mostly poor hygiene. Soft and hard plaque under the gums wreaks havoc with the bone and gum tissue. Sometimes there's no pain, and other times there's an abscess that forms, and we can have draining pus and can be very painful at that point. How do we treat periodontitis? Basically, we have to do what we call a deep cleaning or deep scaling and planing of the root surfaces under your gums. We need to get all that debris that's not supposed to be there out of there, so the gums and bone do not have to get inflamed and get irritated and get back to health. We also might need to do some further treatment where we can recontour the bone underneath and cut away the excess gum tissue so the pocket depths are no longer 4+, 5+ millimeters deep. Again, most often with periodontal disease, the bone loss is permanent, and we have to do some of these procedures to preserve what is left so that it's easier to keep clean and maintain so we don't get back into this periodontitis category. And we're trying to preserve as much bone as possible for the rest of your life. Otherwise, like I said earlier, the ultimate outcome of periodontal disease is tooth loss. So a lot of good education about how to keep your teeth clean. I highly recommend electric toothbrushes, flossing every day, maybe using a water pick to help you as well. Do whatever you can to prevent yourself from falling into this category of gum disease. If you have any questions regarding this topic, I'd be happy to explain further. Just leave me a comment. If there's another topic you wish me to present, I'd be happy to work on that too. Thanks everyone for joining me on my Dentistry Tuesdays. I really appreciate it. And everyone have a great day. Thanks and bye-bye.